What's going on, Sagittarius? How are you doing? Hope we're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your reading for the week of September 18th to the 24th, 2023. So in this reading, Sagittarius, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for this upcoming week. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming, and we're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you regarding this upcoming week and so much more, Sagittarius. But before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading, Sagittarius, and I really do appreciate you in advance for taking the time to check this reading out. Now, if this general reading happens to resonate with you, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that over here, Sagittarius. So without further ado, I am now going to pull the energy, and we'll see what is coming your way for September 18th to the 24th, 2023, Sagittarius. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Sagittarius. Okay. Okay, very interesting energy that you have going on here, Sagittarius. So before we get into your reading, let's go ahead and start this off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards for you. This is going to be the energy that the universe wants you to know about for this upcoming week. The first energy the universe wants you to know about is about seeing the true you. Seeing the true you. And this card talks about the fact that you may be getting, or you may be taking into account what people are telling you about you versus what you think about yourself or how you perceive yourself. Sagittarius, there's something about people who may be in your life that you trust, sort of, or maybe you trust them, maybe you don't, but there's people who are trying to tell you like, hey, this is your shadow, Sagittarius. You know, there is something here about someone calling out your shadow, but it's really coming from their own projection rather than anything having to do with you. Because what I do get is that a shadow, something that may be very real to you, they are calling a shadow just because it is in alignment with your value system and not with theirs, something like that. There's something here about someone is trying to, I'm not going to say put you down, but they're trying to like give you an accurate reflection. This will happen with a friend, a loved one, someone will be doing this. I even get it could be multiple people seeing the true you, could be people that you work for or with, or they work for you, something like someone's being like, Sagittarius, we need to sit down and talk about your shadow today. And you can just already, some of you won't be able to feel it, but it's a projection. So the advice that the universe has for you is only like what you think about yourself is more important than what other people think about you. And especially this week, because it's important to remember that the body does not give off the aura. The aura, your thought form, gives off the body. And what this means is that whatever you feel about you, as long as you really cook it in your aura, it will come to pass, it will be true. Because there's something here that I feel like is a virtue, something that's like a boon, a natural part of your character that other people are trying to put down because it doesn't align with their value system. So be very careful of taking any sort of reflection from other people. What do you think about you? Not what do they think about you? Because whoever's giving you a reflection this week is not fully healed, not fully integrated. So maybe it has a hint of truth, but it's not the total truth. And if you take it for the total truth, you're going to end up getting hurt. Okay, so just be aware of that. Seeing the true you. Okay, be very careful of anyone trying to tell you who you are, what your shadow is this week, just for this week. But then you also have shock of the new. And so this card, Sagittarius, says that you will experience something that you never have experienced before. You've never seen this before. You've never tasted this flavor. Something is coming into your life from the 18th to the 24th that you have never experienced before. Some of you, it is going to be some sort of sexual thing. I'm just going to put it out there like that. Not going to be for all of you, but for some of you, shock of the new. There's going to be some sort of shocking experience that I think you don't really know what to do with, and it could trigger you here in some sort of way. There's also something about some sort of, I'm just going to say maybe a romantic thing would be the more appropriate thing to say. I don't know. Some sort of sexual thing, some sort of romantic, intimate thing that really could go both ways. And Spirit's saying, like, be careful with any sort of thing having to do with that this week. But yeah, so just be very, like, I feel like there's the main message here is definitely about someone trying to give you a realistic appraisal, but it's just not, it's coming from a hurt place. So be careful of that. You also have defend to the end the worthwhile. Defend to the end the worthwhile here. So there is something here that you need to stand your ground about when it comes to the 18th to the 24th, standing your ground. And it could have to do with the ideal image that you have for your life and knowing that you're moving towards that, even if people tell you you're not. You know, there could be people trying to be realistic with you, trying to something, but there's something you need to defend here. And remember, freedom isn't free. Freedom is something that you have to take, Sagittarius, okay? Because there is something here about just your life in general. Defend to the end the worthwhile, something that you have to fight for. Something is worth fighting for this week. Something is very worth fighting for. It could be a person that you have around you that's worth fighting for. Even if you're fighting with them, it might be a fight that you need to get through because they're worth defending. Because there's a lot of commitment. There's an upgraded commitment coming into your life, Sagittarius, but it seems like I'm trying to work it out here for you. So let's just stick with the basics and get into this reading for you. Your opportunity for this week is the Three of Cups. This could have to do with that shock of the new experience, and this also has to do with being careful about getting reflections. Clearly, your opportunity is to socialize. You see how there's 3 people on this card, so your opportunity is to have a positive emotional experience with multiple people. A positive emotional experience with multiple people this week, Sagittarius. It also is a time for you to celebrate something in your life. I do feel that. Celebrate the progress that you're making, even if it's not easy to track. Some sort of celebration, positive social interaction. Don't be afraid of a good time this week, but I'm telling you, if you take the good time too far, it might get a little bit sticky or dicey. I just get that. So we're going to have to clarify. We'll clarify why this is your opportunity. Your challenge is the moon. And the moon has to do with deception, things not being clear. Could even do with a projection because, or a reflection, because the moon reflects the light of the sun, right? And so when it comes to the moon here, I feel like your own identity is very shaky at this time. And I'm not sure why, if it's just the reflection of other people, or your identity could be changing here, or there's some sort of deception, haziness, unknown in your life, and it's very difficult. It's your challenge. So I feel like your challenge is to get clear on something that right now is unclear, and it may have to do with your own identity. Like, what is their identity? Because if we look at, like, I'm a big sports fan, and if we look at sports teams that usually suck, the first thing we say is, like, they have no identity. One game they're really good on offense, the next game they're really good on. They have no identity. It's unknown who they even are. They're not a coherent group, whatever. And I feel like with you getting because we all are different. You might think that you're talking to one person right now. You're really talking to multiple people, multiple fragments that exist within me. Every single person has multiple personality disorder. We all have these different fragments. And so it's like, there's something about, like, talking to the different parts of you and getting them on board, because you don't have an identity right now, and that's hurting you, and you may be getting a reflection about that, but it's not the truth, and so it's very confusing. But we're going to have to see why the moon, and I feel like there's a developing friend group that's very unknown. Your opportunity is to go with it, but to guard yourself slightly is just what I feel. Like the Three of Cups and your opportunity and the moon and your challenge is like, yes, go with it, but you don't really know where it's going, because be open to something weird and new as well. There is something taboo happening that you don't know how to feel about it. That's just what I'm getting. There's a situation that you find yourself it's either new or weird. For a lot of you, it has to do with either sexual or emotional things. It's new and it's weird, and you have mixed feelings about it. And that's really what I get. The Ace of, in your overall general energy this week, you have the Seven of Wands upright, you have the Six of Cups, and you also have the Ace of Wands here. But the Ace of Wands came out like neutral on the table. For some reason, it came out as neutral. So there's some sort of new beginning that could go either way. It's a neutral new beginning. It's not just completely positive is what I get. So in some sort of way, you have defend to the end the worthwhile. And this is about defending something. The 7 in your the overall general experience for the 18th to the 24th is defending something worthwhile. And it may be a relationship that you really care about. You may have to fight for a relationship that you really care about and meeting the needs of the person, but also meeting your own needs, because Spirit is clearly advising you towards some sort of commitment. And it may be an unconventional, forward-thinking, futuristic commitment as well. And so I don't know how you feel about that. It's either like a new work contract for some of you or a new... I don't know how I'm going to say what I'm getting, but we're going to have to clarify. It's like... Yeah, you could feel being conflicted, you know? Like, on the one hand, whatever's happening, I feel like it has to do with love and romance and intimacy and sex for most of you. For the 18th to the 24th, it's like, okay, it felt so wrong, it felt so right, I really hope I can bang Katy Perry in this life. That's true. But maybe not. I don't know what you're doing over there in that Matrix. I'm not the one you want to stun on, pa. But you know what I'm saying? How you did? Okay, so like, yeah, it's just like, it felt so wrong. It felt so right. What is this, Saggy? Am I right? We went out with 3 people. And if you don't know this song, you probably clicked off the reading. But everyone knows that song. Am I wrong? Am I right? So for real, I don't know. I don't know what this is, but it's very intense. And then you have this whole theme recurring once again. And what you don't see coming of the 5 of Swords, the Judgment, and you also have the Page of Cups. I feel like there's a Spirit is going to hit you and be like, Sagittarius, you better not be taking what this person is telling you as an accurate reflection of yourself. There's some sort of realization that you have someone around you who's very immature and quite destructive because they're projecting something onto you that has little to do with you and has more to do with their own issues. And I feel like the centerpiece to your reading is the Judgment card. So Judgment is like the ability to discern, you know, like the ability to judge someone, not based off your emotions, but just like being able to judge someone. There could be something that you don't, there could be a conflict here with someone that's been in your life for quite a long time that you don't know if you want to hug them or punch them in the face. There's a lot of mixed emotions. What I could tell you 100% about this reading is there's a lot of mixed emotions. One of the ways the mixed emotions are going to come to you is by someone telling you something about you that maybe it does point to your shadow, but it's also just completely discombobulated with their own projections. So you're like, how do I even know what's true and false? And so I definitely see you making a judgment on someone that is immature and doesn't want the best for you. But then there's this whole thing about a major commitment. So what is this about? Maybe for some of you, the primary partner you're dealing with in love is doing something weird and you're just going to have to go along with it. And even though you don't feel comfortable, but you're just going to do it. And then it leads to something good. I don't know, because in the advice, I mean, you have the World, you have the Star, and you have the Hierophant. I mean, this is the end of a cycle. It's a major upgrade. This is regeneration, renewal, stardom, making a wish, but also getting attention, also being a little bit weird with that Aquarius energy. And then you have the traditional commitment with the Hierophant here. And so in some sort of way, there's definitely a spiritual upgrade happening in your life that has to do with commitment and regeneration. Okay, there's a major upgrade. You are going to receive a gift, but once again, whatever gift you're receiving, I feel like it's bittersweet, or it makes you like really question things. And that's why the Moon is here in your challenge, because you just don't know what to make of this situation. So a little bit of a confusing, hazy week for you, I'm going to be honest. But then it's like the advice is saying that, no, this is what's meant to be happening. So maybe something or some circumstance is helping you work through very deep issues from your past. I do feel that. So let's just keep going. Or I should say, get into the clarification portion of this reading. And I feel like you hate that your future is unknown. a lot of you are going to be feeling a little bit like angry that like, why is it not set in stone? But I don't know. Let's see why the Three of Cups is here in your opportunity. The Three of Cups in your opportunity is clarified by the Knight of Swords and also the Six of Wands here. The Knight of Swords is all about fast-moving energy, and the Six of Wands all about your status, your public image, getting attention, and being victorious. So there's something here in your opportunity, definitely working with people in a quick way that leads to you getting attention. There could be some sort of victory that you have alongside people together. I don't know what this is. I don't know if you go out with your friends to a bar and you get into a bar fight and you win the bar fight. I mean, this is just one example of what I'm getting. Obviously, that's not happening for a lot of you. But there's a quick victory here in your opportunity to see the quick victory through social interaction. This is why tarot is so beautiful, because the way that I said that, your opportunity is to get a quick victory based off of social interaction. You need to use your intuition in order to make sense of that, but your opportunity is to get a quick victory as a result of positive social interaction. But also, what could be happening here is that you have some sort of victory that makes you feel bad, or yeah. So this could have to do with competing for attention or something weird. Like, I'm just a little confused by this reading, but like I said, you know what the opportunity is now, right? So let's go ahead and see what the challenge is. What is your challenge? The Moon? I think you're like a lot of physical Lovers in reverse, yeah. I feel like you're being asked to commit to a very unstable situation, but it's actually for your highest good. I'm telling you what it is right now. If you want to hear me, do you hear me? Do you think that this reading was off? Do you think that this reading was off? Do you think that I'm just talking shit? Do you think that this reading is off? Then wait till right now, because right now the whole reading got revealed. And you're being asked to commit to a love situation that seems off, that seems unstable, could bring money problems into your life, could bring commitment issues into your life, but you're still being asked to do it even if it feels weird. What? And the reason why is because there's some sort of upgrade as a result of this commitment. And it could give you things, it could make you a star. The opportunity being the Three of Cups to the Knight of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Some of you dealing with a commitment with someone who's going to make you in the public light, make you more. You could be dealing with a lover who's financially backing your plans of making it big in the world, or there's someone who has connections and literally going to make you a star. There's something here about you seizing an opportunity to get where you want to be in the physical world, but also to get a type of love that is shock of the new that you've never experienced before. And so this reading does spell there may be something here that doesn't sit right with you, but you're still being asked to go through with it. There may be someone who you can clearly see is projecting onto you, but you're still meant to work with them. Why would that be the case? Maybe it's based off the intention that you set. Because here's the thing. If a few months ago you said, I'm going to be the best poet alive, I, Sagittarius, will be the greatest poet to ever exist, and then you're keeping that in your head, and then all this stuff is happening. Well, you know that it's happening based off your intention. So what I would ask you, and once again, if the whole reading sucked, then wait till this moment of clarification. What intention did you set recently, a few months ago, or a few years ago, and how is it related to what's happening of you getting what you want through your intention? But it's happening in a weird way. You will realize your intention through this weird situation, and it won't feel good. Do you think that the world champion tennis player felt good when on the day of their championship match they told them the opponent is switched and your racket's broken, but you still got to go out there anyway and do it? No, they had to do it anyway because that's the intention they set, and who cares what's happening? So it's almost like the frequency is like, who cares what's happening? Do something that doesn't really feel that good, because in the end, what you're really wanting the most will be made manifest through this experience. Through whatever that means. I don't know what that means for you. She take my stardom when I'm in need. she's a Sagittarius. Friend indeed. Whoa, she's a something. I'm not saying you're a gold digger. I'm not. But I'm just saying something is weird going on, and I don't know why. And so maybe this is just one story I'm latched onto. It's different things for different ones of you. But it's very confusing. So let's just keep making sense of this. So, okay. And what is it there? Why is the Ace of Wands here? Why is the Ace of Wands here for Sagittarius? The Ace of Wands is clarified by the Six of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. So I feel like, honestly, there's something that you have to do that's going to make other people happy, but you'll also get what you want. This is a win-win situation, even if it doesn't feel like it at first. I'm telling you, that's what it is. You're in the midst of some sort of weird win-win. Everyone gets their needs met, but it's not going to make you feel good, and it may make you feel like, I shouldn't have to put up with this. I shouldn't have to put up with this. I shouldn't have to put up with this. But if you take that route, you're going to miss the opportunity to cash in on the intention that you set a long time ago. I'm telling you, whatever that is, that's what it is. So to break it down, I mean, I feel like some of you may be asked to be putting up with, like, you know, some sort of weird love situation to get something else out of it. And, like, I'm not even, clearly that's not, like, necessarily healthy. But clearly all the spiritual teachers as well don't take nuance into account and don't take, so it's just like, you can't use these blanket statements of like, it's not true love if it feels bad. You know, like, I don't know. There's something very unconventional happening here, but it will, at the end of the day, it works. Sorry, I don't know what it is. At the end of the day, it works. It's weird. It's sketch. And I don't know what that's about. The Judgment card is popping out. It's the centerpiece to your reading, and you also have the Ten of Wands, the Judgment, and the Two of Swords here. So, yeah, some of you, I just want to get the advice about this, because I'm like, really, why is the advice the Hierophant? Why are you being, what is the commitment that you're being called to? Why is the advice the Hierophant right now? The Hierophant is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and also the Seven of Cups. I feel like whatever love situation or whatever situation you're dealing with is a very safe physical bet. I feel like you're entering into a situation where it's either good for your long-term career goals. You're meant to really commit to your long-term career goals. I feel like for most of you, it's someone or something that, once again, it felt so wrong, it felt so right. There's a weird situation with people, positive social interactions with people, quick victory. And it's a safe bet, but it's also going to cause emotional disturbances to you. And your challenge clearly is about emotional, unclear emotions in love. That's your challenge. And I don't see, like, the advice is saying, like, it might not be that great emotionally, but it could be better than you're thinking. Let's see why the Star is here as well. Sorry, I just feel like a little bit off today, but I still hit what I have to hit, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Okay, the Star. Okay, the Star is clarified by the Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, the Death, the Justice, and the Two of Swords here. So that's very interesting, isn't it? I'm going to be honest, I feel just as confused as this reading probably as you. I feel very confused by this reading. But if I'm going to look at it based on my expert tarot opinion, I feel like there is some sort of major opportunity that you could cash in on right now. But if it is causing you if it's causing you that much pain, then you have to walk away. Because here's like what I'm trying to say in this reading. It's like, it seems that you're treating love as a means to an end right now. Or it seems that you're putting up with some sort of weird love situation that's not your ideal thing. But for some reason, like, you want to give the person the benefit of the doubt. You're telling yourself you want it to make it work with them in love, but do you even really love this person or no? I feel like I'm calling you out right now. I feel that if you're the only reason you're in a love situation is for some sort of other form of advancement, this person can make me money, this person provides me security, I'm not devaluing any of that. But if you're in a situation that you feel like you can cash in on an opportunity very quick, Spirit's saying it's going to take a long time, it's not going to be really quick. And with this being in your advice, well, if it's not making you happy and it's causing you that much pain, and if you're not in love for the right reasons, then yeah, you should probably move on. You have the Tower, the Death card, the Justice, and the Two of Swords when it comes to the Star. So some of you, you're going to regenerate a very nasty experience, but for most of you, there is something about like weighing the options. Like, if you're not really with someone because you feel good, but because you're trying to be patient with them, or you're trying to get something else out of the relationship that has nothing to do with love, but you're just in love for something else, then that's not going to end well. I really feel like that's just not going to end well, And so I do feel like it's not just saying for you to leave. I do have to say I'm a little bit confused by this reading, and I hope that you're getting something out of it right now, because I know you're getting a lot out of it, but right now it's just like, so I think the timelines are very fluid right now. And also, there is something about selling your soul or something. Like, there's something about, like, okay, I don't know what you're chasing. But it's like, whatever you're chasing, there could be something about, like, know when to, I don't want to tell Sagittarius to play it small, but I just get sketch energy. And I don't know, we're going to have to like let this play itself out. I really hope that this reading helps you and prepares you for this week, Sagittarius. The advice is very unclear because I think someone that, like, the advice is a little bit unclear. Something just needs to play itself out before I'm like, hey, do this, because the timeline's a little too fluid right now. So whatever happens, it felt so wrong, it felt so right. I don't know what that means. Have fun with it, but just let the smoke clear a little bit. I'm a little bit like, it's almost like you could go either way with it, It's like you could be fully committed or you could be fully out. I think what the universe, okay, now I got it. It takes me a long time on these days, but it's almost like if you're halfway with a commitment, it's not going to work. You either need to be fully committed or you need to be fully out, okay, with some sort of person. So, and if you're going to be with them, you have to accept that it's going to be murky, but you still have to be with them. You can't be like, well, I don't know, we'll see. So it's like, if you're in a love situation and you're like, I don't know, we'll see. Well, that's what's causing all this. So with that being said, I really hope this helped you. I'll talk to you next time.